Hello, Anthem fans, and welcome to Freelancer Radio, your home for all things Anthem. This is episode 9, and we were hoping for a live stream.
We're hoping for a lot, okay?
I'm your host, KJ, and let's check in with the rest of the boys. We got Justin.
Sorry if you guys can't hear me. My fiber got cut.
We got Andrew.
What's up, everybody?
And Marlon.
Live from Austin, Texas. Not
live from Austin, Texas. Come on. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so, yeah, we had a really great show, lined up for everybody today. And then, our big focus was going to be the Anthem live stream, which didn't happen. And that's kind of what happened. So,
put a little damper on us.
let's just chat about it a little bit, huh, boys? Okay, let me read this. Okay, this is from Jesse Anderson, community manager. A fiber line was cut somewhere outside the building, and it's going to take some time for our ISP to fix. We have backup internet, but when testing the stream, it kept freezing.
So when he wrote that the first time, you guys were telling me about it, I was like, damn, someone's really trying to sabotage Anthem. The whole Bioware. And then KJ, you come out later, you're like, oh no, it's the whole city. Just throw the whole state away. Just throw the whole state away. It's just trash now.
I did, trust but verify, boys. So, I did go to Down Detector, and literally the city of Austin, Texas is down.
Honestly, when I saw that, I said to myself, somebody really hates Anthem enough to take down the entire Austin municipality out down with them. That's what I thought.
And you know what? I really feel for those guys right now, because there has not been a single day since a wireless Wi-Fi internet's been out that I have not been on the internet. Are you kidding me? A day without the internet? I go crazy.
Think about this too. Like these boys and girls, because they are just being, beaten with words. The tweetbacks to this are just, they're intense. And honestly, some for... our people are smart. They're like, you could just record a video and then upload it later. Or how about the patch notes? Or will this impact schedule? And then when they say, no, it won't impact schedule. And they're like, well, when's the schedule? And then there's silence.
I even take those messenger pigeons at this point.
Man, dude, I would, yeah.
Find those smoke stick, though. Come on.
Find the ravens from the Game of Thrones and send those suckers out or something, boys.
We can't go into Game of Thrones. You know better than that.
Well, I'm not going to talk about. No spoilers. But seriously, something. Please.
A pterodactyl with the sign that says Anthem is on the way.
Real quick side note about spoilers. Did you see that the Russo brothers released that statement? Please do not spoil Endgame for anybody who has not seen it yet. Please. It's this huge dialogue letter that they wrote to the extreme fans, for those fans. In fact, I went on eBay a couple days ago, and people are selling their Thursday night 7 p.m. tickets for $10,000 for Avengers Endgame.
You have to be insane to do that.
Just so everybody knows, I will be seeing Avengers Endgame on opening day, Thursday evening.
He was, and now he's selling it for $10,000.
And I paid a whopping $5 for my ticket, as I always do.
Was it $5 Monopoly dollars or what?
No, it's $5 real dollars, but it's actually pretty cool. I've got a little movie theater that only has 3 screens. It's
Nice.
right around the corner from my house. And I've been going there since I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, which is a very, very, very long time, much longer than most of you have been alive.
That's when the silent era was.
Charlie Chaplin.
He's not
Charlie
that
Chaplin
old,
was on the screen.
Okay.
The piano falling from the skyscraper.
Oh God! Like he saw Mickey Mouse being born, you know.
But I go to this same theater, right? And it's actually pretty cool because it's a full service restaurant.
Oh.
And you get a table.
Yeah.
And you can only buy tickets the day of.
Oh, I see.
So I always get my tickets when these Thursday night showings are going. I get them first thing in the morning because I know what time they go on sale. And I grab them up, and I grab one up for me, the wife, and my daughter, and we all go on a Thursday night, and we sit down, we have dinner, we watch a movie, but it's only $5 for each of us to get in. So we pay $15 total for tickets.
Yeah,
right?
and then you pay like $40 for the lobster dinner.
Well, no, I mean, literally our ticket for dinner for the 3 of us is usually around $35. So, I mean, it's no more than like a normal go out to eat dinner for the 3 of us, you know.
On average, it just basically averages it out. You know, the amount of money that you would spend on the dinner compensates for the money that you are not spending on tickets. So example.
I'll be there. I'll be there watching Thanos hopefully have his bootay handed to him.
Here, let me give you something in my area. For those of our listeners out there, I live in Miami, and it is very expensive when it comes to tickets here. Dolby Cinema tickets usually go around $21 each. The CMX theater that is near my house, tickets are about $28 for premiere nights. Dinner is about $35 to $45, depending on how fancy you want to go for. So yeah, for me,
so you have the peasants, and then you have the rich people up top.
No, it's about 60. I would be spending $60 if I were to watch, Avengers on premiere night. I will not be watching it on premiere night. I will be watching it on Monday morning. Hopefully, I will not get spoiled by certain people. Like, hopefully, the Russo brothers message got across. So, Andrew, what about you?
Back to the topic.
Which topic?
Back to the topic at hand.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The fiber cable being cut.
Yeah, so, I mean, literally, like, can you imagine being the dude that, like, he just cut the line for Austin, Texas? Like, I mean, how does that? I can't even imagine how that happens nowadays, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's not one of these lines where it is a line into their building.
Yeah,
it literally is like the city. So
yeah. It is the city line that basically got cut. Like, I would love to be a fly on that conversation. Yo, Steve, what cable did you cut? Was it the red one or the green one? I think it was the green one. Well, sir, you're fired.
It was supposed to be the red one, Steve.
or he was having lunch. He was having lunch and he spilled his soda and he just fell over the line and just someone will clean that later. Just walk.
If
away.
that happened, I will be serious in the state of how Google creates their fiber wire. I'll tell you that if a little soda basically cut it off.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. If anybody wants to look it up, it was AT&T fiber line, Austin, Texas. I looked it up on Down Detector. It was also on ispdown.com or something like that, .net or one of those other ones. So I mean, it is legit. I mean, aggravating as it is. I don't think it's 100% an excuse to not give us any information.
Yeah, we still need the info.
Obviously, you still got enough service to be tweeting information out to the fans. So,
what was one of the excuses? My dog ate my homework.
yeah, that was.
God.
This just felt bad, man.
They could have gone old school, and they could have just made it a game fax out of it. You know, for those they just could have gone. Here's a patch notes in game fax. Here's how it's gonna break down. They could have done that.
They could have did, man. There's a lot they could have did to inform us. It almost feels like, man, that like back in high school or something, or college, where you didn't do a full assignment and you're just like, oh man, it's due today. What am I gonna do? And then boom, you get an extension because some BS reason, and you're like, yes, now I got like the next couple days to do it. I feel like
you still don't do it. And you still don't do it. That's the issue. Like,
well, if they had told us like the schedule for the release of the patch was going to be this Friday, right, and that wasn't going to be impacted, I don't think it would have been that big of a problem with everybody. But we don't even know when it's going to happen, and it's like they went silent on when the patch is going to be released, and we're coming up on the end of April pretty darn quick.
Yeah, all those cortexes are still locked. So.
Yeah, we've got no information, like zero information right now. So, I don't know.
Anthem is being like that girlfriend that's ghosting you for like 2 weeks. Okay. And you're trying to text her back, and she just says nothing. It is silence throughout the entire intercoms, and then she calls you up like 3-4 months later. Hey, you want to hang out? I'm like, no. I've been waiting for a response for you guys for a long time, and now you're giving it to me after I've moved on to other things. No, that's what it feels like to me. Okay.
So do you hear that, Anthem? You're Marlon's bad girlfriend. That's what that's nice. Exactly what I just heard. Anthem is Marlon's bad girlfriend.
Hey, don't tell Anna.
Oh God! Like she's deep in right now in Driscoll Wars too. She's enjoying that game. So nice. she'll have fun with it.
So Anthem is not Anna's bad boyfriend.
She doesn't. She hated from the get go when she saw the trailer because she thought it looks really cool, really pretty. But I don't know how I feel about EA as a whole, a company. And she told me this. She's like, I feel really, mixed emotions about how EA, because it looks cool, but I don't know how I feel about it. So she says, I'll wait for it. She shared play with me maybe like 2 weeks ago, and she's like, nope, I'm okay. I'll go back to Sekiro. She's like, I was like, come on, give it a chance, will you? It's not that bad.
So there's a lot of bad connotation that flies around with EA in general, and a lot of people don't even
give them a chance anymore.
Seem to give any IP a chance that happens to be coming out of something with EA, which I find very surprising because a lot of the big houses are under EA's umbrella.
False statement.
You think that's a false statement? Yeah.
Because the new Star Wars game from Respawn, EA, that trailer was phenomenal.
Oh, I do. I think it's phenomenal. But I've seen plenty of things where people are saying that they're not going to even attempt to play it because it's an EA game, which just blows my mind.
That's their loss, though. There's nothing you can do about that. I feel like EA is getting the bad rap for a lot of those games where the actual developer has a big
issue. Yeah, I know what you're coming
part
from.
of that problem. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a bigger issue at some of the actual developer houses. That was obvious in the Jason Schreier article. So,
in my opinion, I don't trust any trailer anymore. I don't trust it. I want to see actual live gameplay of a game before I invest any emotional monetary investment into this whole thing, because No Man's Sky, for a lot of people, Anthem, it's slowly barely getting there. But if you compare the Anthem's premiere trailer to the one that we are playing right now, it's just night and day. Destiny.
Yeah, but buddy, I don't even.
Day.
You can't even trust. You can't even trust that. If you go off of Anthem's E3 trailer, that was supposed to be a gameplay trailer.
Yes.
I mean, so it doesn't matter if they want to if they want to put you with a whole bunch of lies, then they can put you with a whole bunch of lies. That doesn't matter. You can't go off of that. I mean, I guess GameStop's got a new thing where it's like a guarantee. What was that? Guaranteed to like it? Or
guaranteed to like it. Can it be more skeevish than that?
This is GameStop. They put their hands together and they're like, please come to our store and buy something other than a pop vinyl. That's literally what that is. I mean, this crazy.
It's funny.
Good for them. I mean, they think they can guarantee everybody have a great experience on their games. Good luck. Very interesting way of going about business, but I don't think it's going to help them out any, to be honest.
They should guarantee that the customer is going to have a good time in their store. You know how they go about, insurance when it comes to their games? It's like, oh, would you like to have this new game pre-order? Yeah, we'll make sure to add $5 more because you insure it as well. I'm like, no, I didn't. Why are you putting five more bucks into this whole thing?
Yeah, that's Gustavo's experience right there.
Yeah.
God, it's like, I understand that they have to make bottom line. I understand that they have to, meet their quarterly sales, but there are ways of going about it, and there are ways of being transparent and then being schemy and sneaky and just overall nasty. And I think we can all learn that the more honest a company is about the way that they want to go about business, the more their customers are just going to be like, hey, you know what? I may not enjoy the stuff that you put out, but you're honest about it, And
I think that's what's bothering me with the stuff with Anthem right now is because, I mean, the information that they put out is honest. Okay, there was a outage, there is a problem, but nobody knows what's going on with the game itself, and I can understand you wanting to keep some secrecy and not spoil things for the live stream or whatever else. But at the same time, like when people are already flipping on you, you got to give them some nuggets to want to come back.
You live in Austin, Texas. Give us some golden nuggets, please.
I mean, something. We gotta get.
So there was that report that like half the players have abandoned Anthem already, or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure how accurate that is, of course, but I'm just saying that headlines like that don't do the game any justice. Yeah.
No, the headlines don't do it justice at all. But I will tell you that I really. I know I was the one that posted that to our Discord just so everybody had the information because I don't like to not leave information out. But the fact is that that was like 1,000 people. The guy had to go in and change the way that things were being done because people were voting more than once over and over again. It was in the Toxic Anthem Reddit subreddit. So, I mean, it's like, I guarantee you, like, out of that 1,000 people that, there was people that weren't even playing the game for a while. They're going in there and they're multiplying their votes and just being jerks about it because I've been in there, man, and it's like
it's rough.
It's a bloodbath on a regular basis in Anthem Reddit. I don't understand why the developers themselves have just stopped posting there and gone over to the low sodium Anthem because at least those guys aren't looking to stir the pot all the time.
I was about to call sugar free.
Diet Anthem.
Dr. Pepper Anthem. Oh, leave it to Justin. Leave it to Justin to make everything about sugar free. God.
So I have a quick question, actually, going back to that Star Wars title, that new game from EA. probably a question for all three of you. If this game, it's kind of hard to really portray it, but if this was not a Star Wars title, but it had this kind of gameplay, this kind of trailer, would it have interested you at all into playing this game or even looking into this game?
Yeah. For me personally, I feel like, yes, even though I don't trust trailers anymore because the way that just things are, I know they're supposed to be like just a artistic view into what the game is about. I understand that part, but even if it was a new IP from Respawn, I would still be interested because it looks cool. It looks interesting. The fact that it's Star Wars, the Star Wars fan in me just feels like, hey, we're finally getting something good from this franchise that we love.
That's not Battlefront.
That is not Battlefront. And that, it could be like the God of War, it could be like Sekiro for me. It could be something that pulls me away from, just needlessly grinding in Anthem and in Destiny and all these other looter shooters into something more single player in mind, that's just my opinion.
What are you thinking, Andrew?
I will have to rewatch it and try to put myself in that mindset of, hey, if this wasn't Star Wars, would I still enjoy it? Because to be honest, a lot of the things in the trailer was mainly about Star Wars stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure if this was a standalone thing, if it would interest me as much as it being a Star Wars title.
Well, I think it would interest me, to be honest with you, and I'll tell you why, because I enjoy a really good story, and the actor that is playing the main character in the game is Cameron Monaghan, and he well, okay, so he plays Ian Gallagher on Shameless, which is probably my favorite show, and then he also plays basically a group of twin brothers that eventually become the Joker on the TV show Gotham.
Oh.
And I'll tell you, man, this guy is a pretty phenomenal actor and is really probably one of my favorite actors currently on television. So I think that I would probably play this game if it was a standalone title and if it wasn't Star Wars, just on the fact that he was the person playing the main character in the game. So, I mean,
I dig it.
And that kind of goes back to The Force Unleashed. I don't know if you guys ever played that one.
I did. Both of them.
One. I haven't played
phenomenal games.
Yeah, I mean, both of them absolutely amazing. But also, one of the things that really drew me to The Force Unleashed was the guy who played the main character in that. And,
Starkiller.
The guy that played Starkiller was just amazing.
Yes.
I really like him as an actor. He was on another show where he was like, I think it was a vampire. It was like there was 3 people and they all
Twilight.
No, it wasn't Twilight.
That's not a vampire movie, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That is definitely not a vampire movie. That is a teen flick. That is a chick flick. I'm sorry.
It was this. I can't remember cannot remember the name of the show. But anyway, he was the vampire. There was another guy who was a werewolf, and there was a third girl that was a ghost, and they all lived in a house together. It was on Sci-Fi. It was interesting, and his name is Sam Witwer, and is the name of the actor. But I can't remember the name of this other show that he was in. But it was pretty good, and I enjoyed that at the time, around the same time as The Force Unleashed. And he's done a lot of other Star Wars stuff as well.
I really enjoyed that whole Force Unleashed story where, for those of you that didn't play, secret apprentice of Darth Vader, and he's going good instead of being bad and trying to find himself. And then in the second act, trying to figure out if he is one of just one of Vader's clones or not, or if he's the real deal. How strong and powerful the Force is with the metachlorian count that he had in his body. No, I'm just kidding. Don't worry about the metachlorian count. That's all Star Wars Phantom Menace.
Yeah, he also plays the voice of Darth Maul in some of the like Clone Wars and Rebels and some of those other things too. So it's kind of cool that he kind of cycled back and did some other Star Wars stuff as well. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty neat. And I like how Star Wars just does that in general and brings a lot of the actors back around and uses them for other things. The guy that played Wicket in the Empire Strikes Back, he's been in several of the other movies as different characters and stuff like that. And so I always thought that was kind of neat because it's almost like an Easter egg in itself if you know who the actors are.
The show is being human, okay?
There you go, being human.
The show is being human. I was hoping maybe some of these two wonderful people over here were like, say it. I'm like, please, just say, please.
Bro, I barely watch TV as it is, man. I was looking it up just now, actually.
This is the most TV Andrew's actually watched in the past month. He hasn't been playing video games for all of years.
Yeah, man. After it beat Sekiro, I was taking a break from gaming for a little bit, man.
Andrew knows nothing. Okay,
because he rage quit is what it was in Sekiro. So
I beat it, man. I beat it.
He broke his controller many a times.
No, actually, man. Once you got used to the combat in that game, to me it got easy.
Dodge, just block.
It got way easier. But
Marlon's the one that rage quit, aren't you, Marlon?
I wouldn't say that I rage quit. I don't think I have ever.
He has a sailor's mouth. I'll tell you guys that right now.
No. There's only one game that I have ever rage quit. Okay, and that game is Lion King for the Sega Genesis.
What are you talking about, man?
Really? You rage quit on that?
Yes.
I spent 6 hours playing it from beginning to end. I had one life. I had Scar down to the last bit of health. All I needed to do was just dropping off the cliff. Nope. The power goes off. I lose all my safe. I grab the controller, smash it against the wall, and I said, I am done playing this game ever again. That was the only time that I ever rage quit in a game. I have not rage quit in Dark Souls. I have not rage quit in Demon Souls. I have not rage quit even with Ninja Gaiden XD. I have never even rage quit against Destiny. Although I know that someone over here has done that many a times.
Who?
I think all of us have rage
Andrew,
quit in Destiny. I think all of us have rage
I know.
quit in
I
Destiny.
think Andrew. The quiet one over here, he's rage quit a couple of times.
If anybody's played competitive in Destiny, yeah, you should know a little bit about raging.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, yeah, but to give Andrew some credit though, when Andrew on the times that I've been on and Andrew has rage quit in Destiny, it was not because of Andrew's bad gameplay. It was because the team was letting Andrew down.
Well.
Andrew was literally had 5 other guys on his shoulders and was running through a battlefield.
One of them was Lee. I'll tell you that right
now. So this is my
Andrew's down to 3 bullets and a pistol. He's got 5 guys holding on to his back, and
he's got a slingshot and a paintball.
No, you know who it reminds me of is that old comic books where Superman is like, I'm about to take off, and somebody grabs his cloak, and it's like, come on, take me with you, and Superman's like, no, get off of me, no. So, I've seen this guy go off. And I get it. I know that he has a very strong competitive spirit. I understand that, and I applaud you from that, Andrew, because I'm also very competitive in that sense. But man, if I could record the things you have said, without any context, just record it and put it up in the interwebs, just without any context, you would think that this guy was psychotic of the highest degrees, man. Because it's like, kill him, kill him! Just shoot him! He's right
He
there!
He tries to give you a pep talk, but he just talks down to you. Like, you know better than to enter a room with no gun attached. Like, what are you doing? Who walks in the room blindfolded? Like, who does that? Why would you pop your super outside of the doorway?
Like, can you imagine if Anthem had like a PvP section? Can you imagine? Justin, you were supposed to drop your ultimate right now. Now?
No.
Or now?
No. If Anthem had a PvP, Andrew would be yelling at Justin. Justin, stop trying to hide behind cover. You can't
It is not a
cover in this game.
It's like, Justin, put up your shield now. Where? Now, here, in front of me. Okay, puts behind you. That's something that
that sounds like y'all's experience with Lee. That's what that sounds like.
That is. It really is.
Lee's a wonderful person, don't get me wrong, but man,
already
that
have to
guy
yell
me
at
up too at the time.
I already have to yell at Justin half the time we're playing an Anthem together. Like, dude, just stand behind me. Let me shoot everybody for you.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta carry me through that whole game.
Like, what was the thing that happened to us? Like, I mean, I get it. We're people that we enjoy video games, and our listeners are going, man, these guys are going on tangents, so like all over the place when it comes to video games. But here's the thing for us, we met up playing video games. We enjoy each other's companies playing video games, and it's just like there's so many stories that we would love to talk about to the viewer. Of the little things that happened to us in just not just an Anthem overall, but just in the way that we just all fit together as a gaming clan. And here's the best story from those little moments. Justin, Gustavo, and Lee are playing Dying Light.
Well, you gotta tell people who Lee is, because nobody's.
Lee is.
Oh, no. I know what story you're talking about, man. It was me, Goose. And,
yeah, I don't think I was playing Dying Light yet.
And Lee.
So,
we were introducing Goose to Dying Light at the time.
Yeah, but just so everybody that's listening knows, Lee is a good friend of ours. He's also part of our clan. We may have him on the show sometime in the future. But he's not only a good friend of ours, but he's actually grew up with Andrew. And so they have a relationship, a friendship outside of, all of us.
our little community.
And they've known each other for a very long time. But he's a really good guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
But he will leave your butt behind if he can get. God.
Yes. I wasn't going to go there, but yes. To be honest, Lee just kind of does what Lee's going to do.
Like, Lee has his moments where he will say...
Marlon gets lost, but Lee isn't necessarily lost. He's just literally doing whatever he wants to do.
Like, for example, like, if I could say in the party chat, like, hey guys, I'm lost. Can you guys help me out with a direction? And Lee will point out, we're north. Okay, north of where? Which is north. So like, please give me something to go on, okay? I did. I told you we're north. Like, from where? From north of the map? North of where Andrew is? North of where Justin is? Where is the north? Like, it's those little things that just, it just makes you, like, question the way that he thinks about video games, but it also makes you go, man, this guy is probably playing some 4D chess on all of us,
So go ahead, tell your story about Dying Light. With
this
Lee,
happened to I think this happened to Justin, or maybe it was. But the way that he said it was this.
Does Andrew need to tell the story, Marlon? Are you lost in your own story?
No, the thing is this: like, the story that was told to me was that Justin was stuck in Dying Light and he needed help, and Lee said, "You're on your own, buddy." He just like left him.
No, I gotta get the story straight here, just for the listeners and amongst ourselves. I can't let this story slide. But anyway, so anybody who's played Dying Light before, when it gets nighttime, I forget what they're called, but the stronger
crawlers,
the zombie monsters, whatever they're called, the stalkers. I don't remember what they're called, but they come out at nighttime. And this is very early on in the game where we're underleveled, underpowered. and Lee and I have experience with the game already.
They're
we were in the Hunter. Okay, we were playing a new playthrough with Goose, and so Goose has never seen any of these monsters before. And the first night comes along, and we are really far away from the base, and we're like, Lee and I are like, oh crap, we got to get back to base ASAP. Boom! It turns night on us, and Goose gets down by one of these monsters, and he's like, "Help me, Lee! Help me!" And Lee goes, "Sorry, every man for themselves," and just keeps running and just like books it. He's all of us behind, and
you guys have the grappling hooks at that, right? I think
this was early in the game, man. We didn't have none of that. And we're all just trying to run back to base as fast as we can, so we don't get killed by these hunters. But and you just leave Goose.
God, like my experience with Dying Light was, number one, I was playing it with Gustavo and Justin, so I did not play with Andrew or Lee. My first playthrough was with these people, and they had the grappling hooks already. I did not have the grappling hooks, So the first time we're going into the night, I think I had 2,000 experience. I was saving up to, get some really cool stuff. And night comes in, and I just see this hunter, and I'm just seeing this glowing red eyes looking at me. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I just see, yo, Gustavo, can you help me with this? Can you help me kill them? And I just turn around, and Gustavo's just grappling hook out of there. And then I'm like, Justin, can you help me? Sorry, buddy. He grapples, and they're just start running away from this thing. And I'm like, no, help! And I'm just trying to parkour my way back into the safe spot. Okay.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
That wasn't happening. And through the entire playthrough, they just kept doing this to me over and over and over again. We get into a spot. It's like, okay, let me look at the storyline. Let's see what's going on. Skip. Okay. I to this day, I have no idea what the storyline of Dying Light is.
Yeah, it's
what
not
it was
important.
about.
Yeah. Did you ever finish the game? Did you ever finish the game?
No, I finished the game. I just don't know the storyline because they skipped through everything.
Yeah,
okay, I got you. Really I got you. Yeah, I've had a few games like that where I've just kind of I don't know, it almost gets too wordy for me, and I just, especially several of the role-playing games where it's just literally weeks of dialogue. You just have to just keep hitting the X button. You just skip.
That was me with Anthem.
Well, that was you with all the, yeah, but you did that with all the cutscenes.
That's you with Mass Effect Andromeda, man. That was you with anything that is dialogue heavy, okay?
I can do a Mass Effect, or a lot of those other Mass Effect, Dragon Age, whatever. I get so enveloped in those stories, I want to experience all of that dialogue. I'm soaking it up, but when it's just I don't know, I'm a lot more old school than you guys, old time Dragon Warrior or, for Nintendo, original Nintendo NES.
He's trying to figure out why Peach is missing still. Why Mario has to go look for her again.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Okay, so just to give the players a little bit of background on KJ here. I'm old enough that I had an Atari.
2600.
And I had Pong.
Oh,
boys.
God. All right.
Where you had the little
knob there,
square controller with the little twist knob. Yeah, I had one of those. So I've literally been brought up through video games from pretty close to the beginning, and I remember as a child getting the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it'd be me and my mother and my father. My younger brother was not even old enough to play at the time, so I was probably had to have been 5 or 6 years old when that came out, or when we were actually able to afford one. And I remember playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out when it first came out. Like and we had my buddy down the street, and we would trade games for the week, because you couldn't afford but like 1 or 2 video games, man. So like everybody had different games at the time. Like you would actually make plans with your friends where it's like, hey man, I'm going to buy Excite Bike and you go buy Legend of Zelda. Okay. And then like you play that and then I'll play this. And then like in a couple weeks, we'll just trade them off. Like we would make plans because we couldn't afford to buy, games like that. It was just like totally different time. And of course, parents weren't as keen on video games at the time or anything like that. But I mean, that gives you a little bit of the era that I grew up in. Like Contra was my game. Like that was my favorite game of all time back in the day when I was younger. And I played that thing as much as I possibly could, but I never actually owned it. I never owned Contra. Like I had a couple different friends that owned Contra, and I was always trading my games off so that I could get Contra, so that I could play it. But and if anybody doesn't know what Contra is, it's the game. Well, okay, so up, down, down, left, right, BA, start, right? Everybody knows that. Konami code. Okay, that's Contra. That's from Contra. That was the code that you would put in on the Nintendo Entertainment System controller, right, in order to get infinite lives in Contra. And it was one of the first games that actually had something like that. So it was it gives you a little nostalgia from Cajun.
They had that actually, the up, down, left, right, BARRL, whatever, start for the Dragon Ball Z Game Boy Advance Legacy, where you just have infinite life and infinite flight.
And I'm pretty sure I remember what's the new Google thing? The Stadia?
Oh, Stadia. Google
the Stadia actually has it on the back of the controller.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they have it printed on the back of the controller. So, I mean, that's how much of an influence that Contra has had over time. And it was a fairly simple game. It was, 2-player game at most. And, you'd basically shoot different guns. And you just kind of ran through things, and you were, 2 guys that looked like Rambo killing aliens is basically what it was.
It's
but it was a fun game, man. I loved it. And what's one of your favorite games growing up as a kid, Justin?
Oh boy. So in my solo days, I was born in 1991. My very first game was my first system was Super Nintendo. My father bought it for me the day I was born, and I'm not joking about that. He spoiled me. To this day, he's still spoiling me. Anyways, Super Nintendo. There's a Power Rangers game I played on there that was cool. It was a 2-player game as well. And then moved on eventually to Nintendo 64. And I remember constantly playing Star Fox 64. My best friend across the street, Michael, he would come over and we'd just play Star Fox, or one of us would play like Pilot Wings or any of those N64, Mario Kart. N64 was it. A little later, finally, I met up with some kid in my 4th grade class. Oh no, I met him on AYSO soccer. His name was Ethan. It was during my 2nd grade. And then in 4th grade, I met up with him again. We were in the same class. And I was like, hey, I remember you. And he's like, yeah. So we became really good buddies. And I went to his house, and his older brother had Xbox. And he introduced me to Halo. And
had to be Halo. I knew it.
Had to be Halo. So a couple years go by or so, and for my 6th grade graduation or promotion, whatever you want to call it, into middle school, my father bought me Xbox, and he's like, well, you don't have any games. What do you want to go get? And I was like, I want to go get Halo. So we went to the store, went to Best Buy, and I had the game in my hand, and my parents were standing right there, right next to me, and I handed it to the lady who was about to check us out, and she's like, ma'am, you do know that this game is rated M for mature. And both my parents look at me and I'm like, I've been playing it at Ethan's house for like these years now. And they're like, it's fine. It's cool. So I'm so thankful that my parents were cool about it. I get Halo. I call Michael, my best friend across the street. Michael, I got Halo. You got to come over. He's like, what is that? Is that like a gangster game? What is that? Like, gangster. Played Halo the whole day. I think it was a Saturday. We started at 2 p.m. He didn't go back home. He literally lives across the street. He didn't go back home till like next morning. I think he went back, grabbed his sleeping bag, came over. Sleeping bag was useless. We were just playing Halo all night long. It was the greatest experience. So,
Andrew, you used to be like, super competitive Halo player or something, right? You and Lee used to?
Yeah, so that was a long time ago. Back in, I think, high school. We actually played a few Halo tournaments. That was like Halo 3, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I almost very similar to kind of what Justin was saying. Halo 1, that was like the game changer for me. I mean, growing up, I think the first game I ever played was Pokemon, and from there I kind of just jumped into like RPGs, the different ones. I kind of tampered with some FPS games like Doom and like 007 and all those games and whatnot, Turok. But yeah, they were all right games for me. But Halo, man, that one, my older brother, we actually had different moms. And I guess his mom got him an Xbox with Halo. And he came and spent the summer with us. And that's when I got my first experience with it way back when. And man, from then on, that's when I got Xbox, got Halo 1, Halo 2. I was just like purely dedicated into Halo, man. And first-person shooters, that's what really got me into PvP. And from there, pretty much like sniping and all that stuff. But
yeah, that legendary pistol from Halo 1.
Oh, yeah, that thing was beastly, man. But
you would just zoom in and...
But no lie, man, like I didn't get into... Like, the Halo got me into first-person shooters, really. But I didn't get into, like, player versus players type stuff, PvP, until my friend in high school showed me Halo 2 online. Mm-hmm. And, man, that... Like, I thought I was good at Halo. I'm like, yeah, man, I beat Halo on Legendary, like, this many times and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm on, like, all that. And I played again. He was all being all cool about it and comments like, yeah, I'm all right at it. I'm like, man, let's just play against each other. Man, he's been playing online for a long time before I played him. And let me tell you, he showed me a whole new world, I'll tell you that, man. There was like all kinds of button combinations you could do in Halo 2 that kind of give you the advantage and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of glitches in the game, and like super bounces and things called BXR, like instant kill, like up close and stuff like that. And there was all kinds of stuff in that game, and he kind of just showed me, like, he basically showed me just PvP though. And then I started practicing with this guy like a lot, and I've never seen anybody play Halo like this guy. I mean,
this is that same guy you talk about.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he like in
made
one
the game.
Yeah, pretty much. In one game, I could maybe get one kill off him, and he would get like 30, like nothing. He'd be giggling and laughing the whole time. And as these guys here, man, I'm pretty good at PvP.
He's okay.
You're not pretty good. You're really good.
Nah, man, made me look like I was just like a little kid playing this game or something. And
you're over a 2.0 KD in Destiny, aren't you?
In almost any game I play, really.
Yeah.
Or now.
I thought so. Yeah, because you're always like every time we play and we're rolling, like, dude, you're top of the leaderboard. And Justin, you're pretty up there too. Me and Marlon are kind of in the same area, but I think Marlon gets more kills than I do. But die less than Marlon. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like, it just comes and goes, you know. It fluctuates, and you're like, I'm like, yeah, I got like 30 kills. Yeah, but you kind of died like 20 times, bro. It's like, it doesn't really help here, okay?
Marlon's like, I got 30 kills, but I died 36 times.
So it doesn't really help. It's funny now you guys talking about how you guys started out as video gamers, because I had this conversation a couple of days ago, and for me, this is the thing. I grew up in Honduras, and the way that technology goes, it's not like now, where everything is like lightning fast, and everybody gets like the coolest, baddest thing like early, or like everybody gets like at the same time. It doesn't work like that.
It still doesn't work like that in Honduras right now.
No, it's usually about 10, 15 years back when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
So, for example, like I grew up in the early. I was born in 1989, so I grew up in the early 90s, and most of the stuff that I saw was 80s stuff, 70s stuff. You know, arcades. You know, NES, like the old like Japanese like. Budokai Tenkaichi #3 for the SNES. You know, I play Mega Man 6. I played, you know, for the NES. I played what was this game? Like the old consoles, Atari 2600, the Game Links. I think the only console that I did not play was the Dreamcast, because by that point I was already here in the States. And the Dreamcast, unfortunately, it was in that transitional time in the early 2000s where everybody was playing more on the PlayStation as opposed to the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was this off niche console that some people had, some people didn't. But I grew up playing Sega Genesis games most of the time. So Lion King, Sonic, Mega Man. The other game that really... Ninja Gaiden, Battletoads, you know, the whole, like, you know, golden era of Nintendo games, basically.
Did you have Sega Genesis CD? Genesis, was that Sega
I didn't
CD?
get. No, it was the one that I had was the Genesis Saturn. That's the one that I had, you know.
Okay.
Wow.
So, like, it was all cassettes, you know, like, you know this, KJ, you know, like, blow on it.
Yep. Jam it in there.
And if it doesn't work, just take it out, blow it up again, and put it back inside. I think my first handheld console was this Pro 200, like 118 games in one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the old, like, Tetris style games. That's the first handheld console that I had. It's like the brick, like the old brick, 18 games in one, you know? The thing that just, the old Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, like the old Game Boy, you know? Like, I played, Pokemon Red on that, and it was just, it made me appreciate the subtleties of how game development is as a whole. You know, like the fact that you're able to create this entire big universes and worlds in this tiny little package. You know, like Donkey Kong N64, what was it?
Was that Mario World or whatever that was? That one that came out with the Nintendo 64? What was that one?
Yeah, Super Mario 64.
Mario 64.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. You know, I remember when I went to Blockbuster the first time. It's like, oh, this looks so cool. Wait, why does it say M? And why is it rated M? I never had those ratings back in Honduras. It was just Conker's Bad Fur Day. You play it and that's it. You know, and I go to the front desk at Blockbuster with this game, and the lady's like, "Ma'am, this is rated M for mature." My mom looks at me like, it gives me the biggest, dirtiest, like, glare. Like, put it back, okay? Hey, you Pikachu, and we'll play that instead, okay? I was like 10 years old. No, I was like 12 years old. You know, I was like getting into there, but. It's funny because you look back on some of the things that you enjoy as a kid, and you always look at them fondly, but then you start playing them back again as an adult, and you're like, oh, this was not a good game. Or you're thinking, oh, why would somebody do this? Like, prime example, Lion King. Okay, the games were made to be hard. They were meant for you to spend hours trying to beat the level because the levels were short. With Lion King, I think it was like 7 levels. And with Battletoads, I think you had like maybe, I want to say, I couldn't get past the 5th level on Battletoads. I was like, nah, this is not for me. Streets of Rage, I got like to the end. What was the other one?
You're talking about a whole bunch of games that like were back in the day where it was like you only got 3 lives to try to get through the whole game
exactly.
too. Though.
It's like
I had this game for the regular Nintendo. It was called Athena, right? Like the goddess Athena,
that was such a pain in the butt,
like
man.
One of the most difficult games I've ever played in my life. Like to this day, I remember as a child, me and my mother and my father all sitting around. We literally like took a weekend and we were like, we're going to beat Athena. And like literally just passing the controller around, trying to get through the game. And like, just was absolutely one of the most impossible games I've ever played. And to this day, such a difficult game. And, it's just one of those things, man. Like they didn't give you
exactly. They didn't give you. There was no like guides or walkthroughs on how to beat this stuff. If somebody knew something in the game that you did not know, it was gold. It felt like gold. Okay, when you go into
it was like word of mouth though.
Yeah.
You had to get it from someplace else.
Like
it
the whole
you
Mew.
could go to the internet.
Like the whole Mew thing, it was just so stupid. It's like, oh, it's behind the truck, but you gotta go to the Vermilion City, and you have to like walk through the water, and then you have to do all this stuff. And the best one for me was figuring out all the codes for Mega Man 6, and I had like a notebook with all the codes. Well, I had the Contra code, I had the codes to beat every single boss on Mega Man 6 to get there specifically for that boss. I remember when I first input the first brutality combo on Mortal Kombat on the arcade, because everybody looked at me like, because I knew how to do it because there was this guy that he played the game religiously, so he knew all the combos for every single character in Mortal Kombat 3, and he told me, hey, listen, you want to know the brutality combo for Kung Lao? I was like, yeah, sure. I'm like a 6-year-old kid, like, and he showed it to me, but I could never pull it off. It was, you needed to be a specific stand on a specific tile on the game and then press up, down, left, right, like 8 times in a row to be able to do it correctly. And I could never pull it off. The first time I did it, there was like 6 guys behind me waiting for their turn to play with a machine. And when I first got it, everybody was like, oh, what the hell? I've never seen that before. How do you do it? I just grabbed my thing and I got out of the arcade, said nothing about it. It's I'm not as old as KJ. I'm a little bit older than Justin and Andrew, but I feel like my experiences were more to do with old school video games, and that's just the way that I was brought up. And
I mean, you were in a different country at the time, so it's a little bit.
When I first came here, then I started getting into the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I think I own every single console until maybe Xbox S and stuff like that. I had every console onto the Xbox S.
Yeah.
I had every game. I had the GameCube. I had the Nintendo Switch. I had the Wii U. I had the Wii. I had the PlayStation 2. I had the Xbox 360, Xbox 360, Kinect.
All right, there's a lot of consoles.
Yeah, it's a lot of consoles. But I think the one that I really would love to buy, it's the old Sega Genesis, like the handheld one.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember what you're talking about.
To be able to play Sonic 3 and Sonic 2 on it, I would love to have that. That's the thing. The gear, no, that's the Genesis gear. Oh my God, what is it? The N gear?
I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember.
I can't remember right now. It's like it is.
Yeah,
that's what I'd like to have.
You brought up being in another country. To be honest with you, like I've been all over the world. I used to have a job that used to take me different places and things like that.
And freelancer.
Yeah, kind of. So like I've been to like the old Soviet republics and things like that, and Eastern Europe, and I've been through some of the Arab states, and it's very interesting to see the difference in culture between what we have here in the U.S. and some of those other countries. And one of the neat things was seeing the different video game systems that were over there, because they were all the same games that we have, but it was like a bootlegged, it was like a bootlegged version, and you would have like this kind of like odd looking console, and there would be like 50 games on a little cartridge, kind of like these little systems that you see like in a Walmart or something now, right? But it was like literally a console, and you'd have the little game, and you'd have to blow on it and stick it in and jiggle it around and whatever else, But yeah, I mean, I remember being in Moldova, which is it's kind of like northeast of Romania, and when I was there, when I was there, a family of 4 at the time basically lived off per month an average of about $30 US.
Oof.
So that was what a whole family of 4 lived off of. And I'm there, and I'm an American, and I've got, I don't have a ton of money as an American, but over there, like,
you felt like
you've got a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. So I remember I was there, and like one of the things, I was staying with this family for a little bit, and they had a little son, and he was probably about like 6 or 7 years old. And one of the things I did as a thank you is I went to the market with the older son, and I bought one of these video game systems, and I bought like a couple games for the kid and whatever. And literally, I'm not kidding you, it may have cost me $5 US to do that over there. And it was just ridiculous. But I mean, your money went so far. Like, I was just buying like massive amounts of jewelry out of jewelry stores. And I would buy like, I bought artwork out of art galleries, little small pieces, because everything you had to be able to bring it back in your suitcase. You know what I mean?
Right.
To get through customs and stuff like that. It's not like I was bringing shipping containers out of there. We're never going to try to do anything like that. But I'm just telling you, man, like, it was just crazy, the amazing stuff that you could get. And especially in the realm of like, because I'm an artist. I've always enjoyed art. And, I know Marlon's a big artist too, but like, I've always enjoyed art in general. And some of the stuff that I was able to pull out of countries like that for just a little amount of money that you had to spend to get something was just absolutely amazing stuff. And it was just really cool. But
it's a cool experience, bro. Don't get me wrong. It feels like, because I know how, I mean, think about it. Like, the dollar would get you so much stuff back in the old days. Like, not anymore sometimes, because it just fluctuates back and forth. You know how it is. In some places, yes, you could probably get a lot of stuff just with $10. But I think that make me like laugh about the whole Famicom clone things, because you mentioned that, was my younger brother. Okay, I tried to get him to play some of the old like NES stuff, like Excitebike, Mario. I tried to get him to play. What was the other one? Galaga, Galactic. It's just, I try to get him to play those type of things. So I bought this clone Famicom thing from Walmart. It was one of those little plug and play things.
Yep.
And he just goes, "So, where is the save function?" And they tell him, there's no save function. You play it and that's it. You die, you go back and do it all over again, It's like, well, this sucks. You just throw it away. It's like, oh, man.
Different time, man. Different times, different way of doing things. That's for sure, man. But, I like the way that we're able to use this platform, share our experiences with people. People actually connect with us. It's been really neat over on Twitter. Like, people have been, actually starting to tag us in some stuff, along with some of the bigger players in the Anthem community, like Anthem Universe and Your Anthem and some of these other guys. And we've seen people who've started to tag us and things, show us videos, and they mention us and things, and they tell us how much they enjoy the show. And we're, super excited. I really was hoping that, this week's show was going to be a show where we were going to go over the information with the live stream, kind of, have our little pithy banter where we go back and forth and kind of mess with each other and whatever else and stuff. But, at the same time, it did give us a little bit of an opportunity to just kind of step back a little bit and hopefully our community, the people that are listening to us, to just learn a little bit about who we are, even though, we're just, just a group of guys talking on the podcast, you know what I mean? But we're people too. We're brothers. I'm a father. I've got 4 kids. I'm much older than the rest of these guys. So, just, it is what it is. But we're a group of guys that has a great time together. I don't get to play as much as the rest of these guys, I don't think, but I get on a lot later in the evening. I usually, tuck my kids in, and then I jump on and I'll catch some of these guys as they're, heading out for the evening, or maybe we'll get together on a weekend or something like that. But I mean, we've even had events where, like, we've met up outside of just, video games, where, a couple of guys joined me in Alabama one time when I was on a trip, and met us there. Some of the guys have met up in Vegas a few times, hung out and done things. And I think it's just so amazing how you take different people from different backgrounds and different experiences, and they have small things that they come together over, like a video game, and they turn into amazing friendships. And it's all done through, technology and media that wasn't even available when I was a child. Yeah. You've got the internet, people are connecting, they find each other, and they grow together in their experiences together as friends, and almost become a family in a lot of ways. And, and it doesn't have anything to do with age, and it doesn't have anything to do with, what your sex is or what you believe in or whatever else. It's just that you enjoy what you have together, and you enjoy the time that you have together. And I love the fact that we're able to do this podcast and share a little bit of that with, the Anthem community. I don't know, the internet, whoever is listening to us. I love the fact that we're able to share a little bit of that with them. And hopefully they will continue to share with us online, because, we get stuff on Twitter and we respond. We're not one of these guys where we're too big for our britches. And, if you show me a video on Twitter, you talk to me on Twitter or something like that, I'm going to respond.
We're not Bioware.
Yeah, we're not silent like Bioware's being this week. But I will tell you, okay, so I gotta say this though, because this is the God honest truth. Cameron Dayton, okay, from Bioware, he's the narrative director over there at Bioware, and every single time I say something and I hit him up, whether he mentions something and I talk back to him, or whether I say something and I tag him in it or whatever else, he always responds. And I got to give it to him because, you know, these guys are, I mean, they dug their own grave. They're literally like, they're under fire constantly. But that guy actually takes the time to respond to people every time. And I appreciate that, you know.
That respect.
I definitely respect that. But you know, I'm glad that we were able to, it almost gave us a moment to take a step back, take a breath, share a little bit about ourselves, share a little bit about our experiences, share a little bit about who we are. And hopefully next week we will have our live stream. We will have some more really great Anthem information for everybody. We'll be able to give them the Anthem info that they want, but hopefully at the same time, you guys actually want to get to know who we are and what we're about a little bit as well. So I'm going to check in with the guys real quick. Justin, you got anything else you want to share before we head out today, bro?
Single tear came out my eye. It's just when you were saying how we became a family and all. So moment to myself over here.
Oh God.
We've been through a lot. We've been through many raids. We've all yelled at each other. We've cussed at each other. We've hugged each other.
We've gone through many Red Bulls, I'll tell you that.
Speaking of cussing, Andrew, this would be episode number 9. So Andrew is technically the only guy to make it to the lighthouse with a perfect score of not cussing.
Dang right.
Trials.
We will see you in Mercury, okay?
I'll carry somebody else there eventually.
You got anything else you want to share before we head out, Andrew?
I'm good, man. I mean, I guess, yeah, like KJ was saying, hit us up on Twitter and our social media things if there's anything else you guys want to know about us or any questions or anything like that. I mean, just feel free to ask.
Shoot, if you want to play, go on our Instagram. All of our
gamer
things
tags are up. Yeah, all of our gamer tags are up on Instagram. Just hit us up.
We will play.
There.
We will play games.
Marlon, what you got, bro? Before we head out.
The only thing that I can say is, KJ, Justin, Andrew, and to Gustavo, to Lee, to Dalton, to Jeff. You guys are
Joe.
Forget Joe. I'm gonna leave somebody out. Joe, Nick,
Logan.
Logan.
Jake. We have had so many.
John, Jacob, Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I could go on to the type of people that I have met through this medium and the type of people that I have had experiences with. You guys are an amazing bunch of friends that I had. And I am probably going to be 50, 60, 70 years old, and I know for a fact that I'm still going to be playing with you guys. That's all I'm going to say. It's I'm going to tell my kids, Daddy, what type of game that you enjoy playing with your friends? And I'll be like, any game, Destiny, Dying Light, it could be, Jedi Fallen Order, it could be, Destiny 65, 60 years from now, it's a wholesome group of friends. We don't care about what type of games you like or don't like. We don't care the type of opinion that you have, because for us every opinion is valid, although we do understand that Anthem is not a cover game, Justin, okay? It is a game about killing things in a stylish way, okay? So for all the viewers out there, I would like to thank you, and if you ever need a personal trainer in the Miami area, you can call me, okay?
You can hire Marlon to do your personal training as well, yeah.
And you can hire Andrew to do your PvP training as well, okay?
Be the PvP tutor.
Yeah, Andrew could be a PvP tutor, that's for sure. That is for sure. But yeah, and Gustavo unfortunately could not be here tonight. He's helping out some family members. He's not really in his safe space, like I mentioned last week. Although I'll probably give him a hard time for it again for not being here and sharing with us. And I know he is listening to this and putting the rest of the finishing touches on our thing probably and having a good time with it. But I always like to get a little reflection on. But these are my boys. I love them. They take care of me, and I try to take care of them. That's all the time we have for today. So let's suit up and hit the high road. Strong alone, strong together. Freelancers.
Roll out.
It's like, what the hell? All right. That one's going to be in the gag reel now. All right. Count it down. Somebody, please.
All right.
Thank you, boys.